Hey guys, how's it going? All right, so I'm going to show you how I do a DIY front end alignment. And the reason that I got to do this is I've recently changed my control arms to tubular, and I've changed the front springs, so we're sitting all different. So I want to go ahead and do an alignment, and honestly, once this is lined up, I'm trying to set my camber and my toe. It's probably going to be as close as using a professional alignment machine, because I'm basically mimicking the same thing that the machine's setting up to do. Now you can get the alignment gauge that goes on the front tire, but you're only lining up one tire at a time. So it works, but I don't think it's as close as what I'm going to show you. Now I'm using lasers here, but I'll show you a quick way to do it without the lasers if you don't have a laser. I just happen to have them because what I use at work. So I've got a laser set up in the back here on the passenger side, and I got another one over here on the driver's side. And excuse the mess in the garage, but I actually use this garage. So what that laser's doing is it's casting a line right parallel next to the car. And that's what we want, because we want to line up the front tires with the rear tires. So once the lasers were both set in place, what I'm doing is putting reference marks on the floor, and those do two things. One, if I move the laser, provided I don't move the car, I can set it back up a lot easier just by crossing all those marks. And then I have another one up here on the face of the bench, so the laser line's hitting that. Screen laser's a little stronger so you can see it. Okay, so what you do, set up that laser, and then I can measure, see if I can get on the right side here, from the wheel to the laser line. All right, front and back, right about in line with the center of the hub. That's what I want. So now I know that that line is passing the rear wheel parallel on both sides. Then I check the measurement from side to side in 4 places. So I'm checking it behind the wheel, in front of the rear wheel, behind the front wheel, and in front of the front wheel. Those are all equal, every one of them, 79.5 inches. So I know that my lines are parallel. Okay, so now the car is sitting in a box basically. Where the laser crosses the rear wheel, it's straight, and then where the laser crosses the front wheel, it's straight. So right now, and this thing's sitting on 2 pieces of Lexan with some WD-40 in between them. That just makes it easier to spin the wheel or move it a little bit to do the toe. So if that line's coming across this wheel parallel, then I can do my toe in real easy. And since the laser casts a line way up here on my hand anywhere, then I can adjust my camber angle from that laser line too. And I'm working right off the rear wheels. It can't be any better than that. Okay, so now you can, if you don't have a laser, don't get worried about this. You can snap chalk lines on the floor. You know, you can measure and use a framing square. So if your floor is level, check your floor, make sure it's level. Then you can just put a framing square and then measure from the square back to the wheel, make some marks on the floor. Do it on the rear is where you want to, because the rear is set, you know. But you would measure from here to the center of the wheel. Same thing in the back. make a couple marks down on the floor, and then cross that with the chalk line. Snap some lines on the floor. Then you'll have a reference line. That's basically what the laser's doing, because the laser's crossing these two. And then you just, if that, you have to imagine that line there, obviously, because it's not there. But you just go to your chalk line and then measure from here back to the wheel. It does the same thing the laser's doing. Laser's just easier. If you only have one laser, you can borrow one from your friend or whatever. Just set up and do one side at a time. But once you got it set up, it's right on. So what I'm trying to set here is my camber and my toe. So I want a 1/2 degree negative, which equals 1/8 of an inch inward on the top. So I want to lean this front tire in toward the engine 1/8 of an inch. That's equal to a 1/2 degree. How'd I come up with a 1/2 degree equals 1/8? Just took a smart level, which is digital. I made a little spot on the cabinet door, and I went from here to here at 90, and then I came back 1 full degree to 89, measured that space. 1 degree is 1/4 inch. So a 1/2 degree is 1/8 of an inch. Now the distance from here to here is equal to what I'm measuring, which is the wheel, which is 16 1/4 inches. So I'm going to measure from the bottom of the wheel to the top of the wheel, back to the laser line. So for instance, if I want a 1/2 degree, which is 1/8, I check my measurement at the bottom, say it's 5 inches. I come up to the top, make it 5 1/8. I'm in 1/8 of an inch. It's exactly what I want. Real easy. Then for the toe, set it up so that your wheel is perfectly straight, equal. Back to the line, say 5 inches. 5 inches. If I want 1/8 of an inch towed in, when I measure this again, there will be an 1/8 inch difference in those two from here in. Toe is set. Do that on both sides and it's straight. Then everything is working with the rear wheels, which are pushing the front of the car. Then you're straight. You're not dog tracking. Things aren't doing weird stuff, and it's the way it should be. And that's basically what laser beamed alignment machines are doing. I'm just mocking it up in the garage with easy stuff. So that's how you go about doing that. To adjust the camber, end up putting shims in here, and that will pull that ball joint in. The caster angle is the difference between the ball joint center here and the ball joint center there, either back or forward. We want forward. Kind of look like the wheels angling back. And that keeps it going straight. Not going to get into how to adjust that, but if you're trying to make an adjustment to get it to an alignment machine and you do it this way, your alignment tech's probably going to tell you, man, you did a good job because you're about as close as I could get it. So it's really simple. Setting the toe, you can use strings. You know, I've seen videos that say front end alignment, and they use a string and they go around the back wheel, bring it up the other side, and they basically have a horseshoe, and the string comes by the front wheel to the front. But that string is being directed by the bulge of the tire on the sidewall, and all that's doing for you is setting toe. Doesn't address the camber angle or anything, you know. So toe's simple. Camber is what sets you the amount of the tire that's touching the ground, your contact patch. And that's the important thing, you know. And you can't do it with the strings like that. And I just don't like bringing strings across tires that vary. So if you're working from the wheel, that's a set spot. And it can't change. So that's how I do it. Give it a shot. I think you'll like it, you know. But if you don't have lasers, just do it, you know, take a framing square and then measure from the square to the wheel, from an index line that you have on the floor. Just make sure the lines are parallel. Check your measurement at the rear, say it's 80 inches. Should be 80 at the front as well. You can find the center line of the car and check that the car is sitting in those lines, you know, from the center line, equal 40-40, whatever, if you want to go that far. But if you get it to the point where your lines are parallel, they're equal distance apart, the car's sitting in that box equally, I think you're going to be right where you want to be. So thanks for watching. Good luck with your front end alignment, and hey, I'll catch you another time.